I know you guys are looking for ways to do semi-permanent, and this is my way. It may not be your preferred way, but this is the way I do things. And really what the deal is with this farm is it's about 6 acres, and it would have went, it was just growing up, and I just came in here and bush hogged it. And I'll let it grow back all summer, and then I'm gonna come in here and fall graze it. But I may get to graze it for 10 years, or I may they may sell it next week. So I can't put a ton of money into it. I had T-post. I know fiberglass would probably been better, but I used what I got. I'm a poor. But how I do it is what was here was an old barbed wire fence. I mean, I think they had horses in here a long time ago, but you can kind of see it going down through there, just buried in that stuff there. And eventually I will try to fight that back and get the fence back to where it belongs. But for the time being, all I done was, it's actually got a nice gate someone put up, but I take and use these pin lock insulators, and it allows me to tie them in here and get them really tight. I mean, for poly wire, or turbo wire. As tight as you want them anyway. And then I'll do a video on how I tie them here in a minute. And then I use one of the old T-posts in the line. And I probably won't do, but my sheep will stand with a string. But the guardian dogs, I'll probably do 2 or 3 wires here. Just Tractor Supply step-in post. I've been using them for years. Yeah, some of them will break, but I've got some I've gotten 5 years out of for $3 a piece. It's hard to beat them. In these dips, I just use, basically the step-ins to guide it. And then right here's a turn. I put a T-post in. I've tied these knots like this, and it allows it to be tied on both sides. If you try to take like if I'm running just straight temporary, I'll just wrap it. But like this, I wanted it a little bit better, so I tied them. And then the way I tie them, it actually gives you a hook to hook off of when you run your cross fences. I know I do it anyway. When I hook on my cross fences with my hooks, sometimes they'll slide up and down the line, and that gives a hook there. It's nice to have. But that's it basically. And I actually there's a step in there, and then another T-post at the top of the hill up there, and that's all I'll do. And and if I keep it for a few years, this farm, I'll start cleaning back towards the fence here, and I'll run just a plain electric wire in between the ball bars left. But this place here, it was overgrown. It was growing big trees in it. I come in here and bush hogged it about mid-June. It's been resting ever since. A lot of weeds grew back, but the sheep don't mind. I'm gonna get in here for the frost and let them chew up these weeds. What I wouldn't do is I lamb at my main farm, and I wouldn't have any young lambs in here, not with just the poly wire. I just think you'd ask for trouble then. But my big ewes, they're without lambs right now, and the ewe lambs that I did keep are big, and they're really trained to electric wire, poly wire, so they're not gonna cause any problems. But this is the way I do it. It may not be the perfect way, or the way that some other people do it, but it works for me. And it's cheap. It allows me to temporarily graze these farms that with no fence, smaller acreage, 5-6 acres, that would have just flat out went to the it would be getting hay cut off of it, or it would just be overgrown. And here's the T-post at the top of the hill here. Same thing, I tied it into a pin lock insulator, just like that. I run, like I said, I'll do a video on how to tie those. And then a few step-ins down the hill. And then down there about where that light pole's at, there's another T-post. And then it just goes straight up through the woods. Now when I get in the woods, I take insulators and I'll skip through the trees. I find, good straight lines, and I take the insulators and I skip and insulate through the trees. And it really, what am I seeing? But it really makes it easy. You just kind of have to break over a few sapling trees. But going through the woods with electric is super easy. But, alright, that's what I do. Have a good day. I can't hardly tie this with a phone in my hand, but I'll show the general idea of how I tie them. I take the poly wire, it's still on the roll, and I'll double it up and run it through the pin lock insulator. And then I will tie it like that back into itself. And then that makes this run tight. And then I've got a hook here when I run my cross fencing with my reels. And then this roll here can go on that way.